Hi, parents. This is Hammersley, and I am your child's Math 3 teacher this year at Cardinal Gibbons. Some of you might know me in the past as Miss Cipriano or Miss Sip. I just recently got married a few weeks ago and am now Mrs. Hammersley. So, usually on back to school night, I like to take the opportunity to tell parents a little bit about myself and my connection to Cardinal Gibbons, and also a little bit about my class and how you can help your child be most successful. And so even though we're doing this virtually this year, I'd still like to take the opportunity to talk about those two things. So first, I'll tell you a little bit about me. I am starting my 12th year teaching at Cardinal Gibbons High School. I emphasize the word teaching because I'm actually starting my 16th year at Cardinal Gibbons High School. So I am an alum myself. I graduated in 2004 from Cardinal Gibbons. And being a student at Cardinal Gibbons is so much of the reason why I became a teacher and ultimately why I wanted to come back to Gibbons. Gibbons was my very first job out of grad school, and I've been here ever since. I've literally spent nearly half of my life in this building, and I've formed some of my greatest friendships and relationships in this building, including my marriage. So fun fact, my husband and I actually graduated together in 2004, and we reconnected about 5 years ago and have been together ever since and married now for about 3 weeks. And one of my fellow educators, Lauren Gentili, was also in our class and was actually a bridesmaid in our very small COVID wedding. So as you can see, Cardinal Gibbons is a place that is so near and dear to my heart. And my goal this year, and really my goal every year, but I think even more so this year, is to provide your children with the experience that I had at Cardinal Gibbons. My 4 years here as a student were so formational in making me who I am, and my time here as a teacher has continued to be formational into forming me into the person that I am. And I think that this year presents some really unique challenges and obstacles and is definitely unconventional. But I want you to know that at the end of the day, my goal is still to provide your kids with the Cardinal Gibbons High School experience. And I think I speak for my colleagues as well when I say that your kids are loved and they're taken care of, and we are doing all that we can right now to continue to provide them with the experience that we all know and cherish, and that we want for them. So please know that despite all of these circumstances, that we're still doing that for your kids, and we still want them to have the best year that they can possibly have here. So on that note, I'd like to tell you a little bit about my class and about how you can help them have the best year that they can in Math 3. So I have our class webpage pulled up here just so that I can kind of show you where a few things are located and some important information there that could be useful to you and your kids in the future. So probably the absolute most important thing that's on our webpage is what's up here on the top right. It's called the class log. So obviously in the midst of this hybrid learning situation, communication has become more important than ever, especially between teachers and students. So this class log is basically my way to communicate with your kids about everything that's going on in our class. So it gets updated every day with what we did in class, and then what the homework is, any upcoming assignments or dates, and there are links to every possible resource that I could provide them for those activities. So there will be answer keys here, there will be videos and notes and activities and study guides. Basically anything that I have to provide for your kids will be in this document. So this is kind of like the one-stop shop for everything that they need for our class. And this is a document that you have access to. So if you're ever trying to support your kids or help them get caught up, this is where I would recommend that you start doing that. So underneath that is a link to join our class Zoom. We have a Zoom session every single class meeting, and it stays open for the entirety of the meeting. So the reason I think that's really important to emphasize, there's a lot of times where The kids at home, I might let them off of the Zoom call early to go kind of work independently for a little bit. But what I want you to know and what I want them to know is that the call is still open and I am still available for the entire period. I think one of our biggest challenges this year, and one thing that I would ask for your help with the most, is getting students to advocate for themselves. When you're in class, it's really easy to raise your hand or walk up to the teacher's desk and ask for help. But when you're at home, that's not as easy. And I'm trying to remind them every single day, like, it's okay to interrupt me on Zoom. And it's okay to say, like, hey, Mrs. Hammersley, it's John. I have a question. Could you do that example one more time? And I'm encouraging them to do that. And I would ask that you encourage them to do that. I really am hopeful that as the year progresses, we'll kind of transition this mindset, and they'll become more comfortable participating virtually and in person and asking for help virtually and in person. One of the biggest challenges for me in the spring that I feel like I finally broke through with is telling my kids that just because you're not seeing me live face to face all of the time, that doesn't mean that I'm not here for you. And that's the same thing still. And I hope that your kids know that and will learn that as we continue on in the semester and this year. That just because they don't see me face to face every day doesn't mean that I don't want to help them or doesn't mean that I'm not available for them. So please know that I'm here to support your kids and help them in whatever way that I can. Even if it's a little bit unconventional this year. And if you need to contact me for any reason, I also put a link up here for a short little form that you can fill out for any questions or concerns. You're also welcome to email me. I'm really excited to have your kids in class this year and to get to know them. And I hope that we can all make the most of this year and really have a great experience. So I look forward to hearing from you. Please don't hesitate to let me know if there's anything that I can do to support your kids and help them be more successful.